In this video, we're going to talk about security, data access, and collaboration within Attivio's semantic data catalog. So within the catalog, there's a concept of a collaborator who can be added at 3 different levels and given read or write permission. So a collaborator can be added to spiders, marts, or individual sources within the catalog. And at each level, you can specify if that collaborator should have read or write permission, saying whether they should be able to view it or edit that given item. Then, once a user has been added as a collaborator, there's a model built into Attivio called active security that gets applied when users go to search for sources. So a user enters a search term, and that search is executed against all available data within the catalog, including metadata and facets and the sample data itself. And the active security model applies a filter as that query is being processed by validating that user against Active Directory or LDAP, whichever it's integrated with, and then acting as a filter to ensure that only the results that that user has access to see are returned to them at the end of the query. So users only get back sources that either 1, they added to the catalog themselves, or 2, another user has shared with them, i.e. added them as a collaborator. Then in terms of data access for sources within the catalog, that depends on if the source was generated from a database spider or if the source is generated from something else. So for database spiders, when a mart or a source is queried, that query is passed through or federated back to that underlying source in the database. The query is processed, and only the data that the database says that user has access to see is returned. So this makes sure that the security defined at that database level is reflected within access at the catalog level. For other sources, data is served up from Attivio's universal index, which is built into the catalog, and allows SQL-like queries against any type of data source, whether it's structured or unstructured, and also can still have a robust security model built around it when specific permissions are defined and or access control lists or ACLs are fed in when a source is added to the catalog. So now let's take a look at the demo and see how security and collaboration can work in real time. Okay, so for this demo, let's consider a case where we have 2 users. One user is Jim. Jim's a member of the marketing group at our company. And the second user is Steve. Steve's a data engineer who works regularly with the catalog. So first, let's log in as Jim, and we can see what Jim has access to. Okay, and we see, to start, Jim currently doesn't have access to any marks in the catalog. So now we can switch over to Steve. And Steve has several marks here that he has access to or that he's built out. One of them is this third one, the market info mart. And Steve wants to share this mart with the marketing group so that they can use it too. So if we click into this mart, we'll see that Steve has full access to it. He's able to add or modify links, and he's also able to add or remove sources contained in this mart. Now another thing Steve can do, because he has full permission, is he can change the collaborators. So we can click on this button here and we see that Steve is a collaborator on this mart already, but we can also search for other users and groups that might be in the catalog. So we see here that there are a number of users and groups, and these are pulled in from integrating with LDAP or Active Directory, and we see that one of them is the marketing group. So we can go ahead and add the marketing group as a collaborator, give them read or full access. Read is fine for now, and click out of that, let that update, and then save and close the mart. So the marketing group has now been added. We can log out, and now if we log back in as Jim, who is a member of the marketing group, even though he wasn't added explicitly, we'll see that Jim now has access to this mart. However, if we click into it, because he was only given read and not full access, we'll see that while he can go in and see the sources contained in the mark, the only other thing he can do is provision that data out. He can't actually edit the links or the sources contained in that mark. That wraps up this topic. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to watch this video.